What I love about New Albany is the 4th of July parade.
Sports.
Starbucks. My other home.
Ready to roll?
Ready.
Sweet. Well, Brad, thanks for coming on White Fence
Absolutely.
Living.
Thanks for having me.
I feel like I keep talking with people that have been here longer than me, so like I want to welcome them to BrickHouse Blue, but you should be welcoming me.
Yeah, well, I don't know. You may have. You've probably used this podcast studio a lot more than I have.
Yeah. I think so. I think I've probably used it more than just about anybody.
Probably so. Yeah, they built it just for you.
That's
probably
exactly right.
They were ready for it. Yeah. But I've been around a long time with Innovate New Albany. Before it was even Innovate New Albany, it's one of the first tenants in the city's incubator space, the business New Albany Business Development Center. They called it originally.
Okay. Yeah. Let's dive right into that.
Sure.
So I, even having been here for a while, and I kind of had an idea what Innovate New Albany was prior to like joining BrickHouse Blue, but you've been there forever. So give me like, I don't know, if somebody had never heard of it, right? Like I'm from out of state. What is Innovate New Albany?
Sure. Innovate New Albany is the innovation initiative for the city of New Albany. And I do not speak as an official representative of the city. We've been contracting for the city for years, and we work with Neil Collins, who runs all the programming here as well. But I would say Innovate New Albany is the innovation initiative for the city. They do a lot of great things. One of the taglines they've used in over the years is that New Albany is a great place to raise a company.
Okay.
A lot of people move here because it's a great place to raise a family too. We can talk about that. I've got 2 daughters, and we love raising our kids here. But it's a great place to raise a company. They operate at the speed of business. It's not your typical local government. You think Parks and Rec and the show Parks and Recreation. It's not your typical government that's getting in its own way, and I know the stereotypical government getting in its own way. I feel very strongly that government does a lot of really good things for us, local government in particular. But we need an innovation initiative when we're building this business park, and we've got a health and beauty care campus, and we've got data centers, and there's some industries that are very strong here in New Albany. They want to see, before a Meta or an Amazon or a Microsoft or AWS, before they build their data centers here, they want to see that we are an innovative city. And I feel like an incubator space where there are events, it's an ecosystem for growing businesses and innovating. That's an important thing. And that's what Innovate New Albany is in my mind.
Cool. And then so Innovate New Albany started like 2000s?
Well, so I moved to New Albany in 2008.
Okay.
And right about that time, maybe 2009, they started up their first space. And it was half a mile from here, maybe, West Campus Oval. And we had this little space, maybe 10 offices, and you could barely call them offices. I had a cubicle to start with. My first person I hired, he came to the building. He was a high school junior. He came to the building. He thought, "Wow, I'm coming to work at this company it's a 4-story brick building that probably could fit a few thousand people in it." And he walks in and he sees this space, and he goes in to this little space of about 10 offices. And I'm in the back in a cubicle, and that's where he has signed up to work. So we're very small, but it started off as a small space. I was one of the first tenants. I grew into an office there. They moved out of that space into what's now it's the New Albany Company's building. It's now actually, I think the New Albany Company may be in the space using that as an office where the incubator used to be. And then just a year ago, they moved here.
Yep.
And this is a huge change. They were upstairs for a little while.
Yep.
Just in temporary space on the 3rd floor.
Yeah. So. This I had never been to the old space, but like this is definitely like this is a space where you can collaborate. It's definitely innovative. It's unique, and I think AWS just had an event. Tressel was just here. Got to meet him at Barry Bagels.
Yeah, Lieutenant Governor Tressel is here.
It is. It's kind of neat. Like it's fun. Like watching the buzz around here.
It is.
There's always something going on.
It is.
So that's pretty cool. Like, how do you feel like the businesses that are collaborating or working like? How has that evolved from what it used to be to like maybe what the tenants look like here now?
Well, good question. We had a number of clients in the old space. We still have some clients who are either current tenants or were previous tenants of Innovate New Albany. We definitely collaborated with some others where we would have, my company, Buckeye Innovation, we're a service provider. We build websites and mobile apps and build technology for companies. building mostly custom software. And so there would be other companies that might be it's a marketing firm that specializes in social media marketing, and we would partner with them. Or maybe there was a company that did some educational consulting, a startup. We actually had a couple of startup clients out of Innovate New Albany who raised money and eventually exited, and we would build their website for them or build some technology for them.
That's cool.
So that there were some organic relationships that happened. I think the events, there's a lot to be said for the events that Neil is running.
Tiger Talks.
The Tiger Talks,
and if
Tiger workshops.
Twice now I've run into Neil and I've said TED Talks. And I feel terrible because I'm like, it's not a TED Talk, it's a Tiger Talk.
Well, there's a certain, I mean, my company's Buckeye Innovation. People will say to me, oh yeah, I've heard of you guys. They probably have not heard of us. I mean, there's a chance, but I named it something that would sound familiar and would be very approachable to someone in the Buckeye State.
Yeah.
And you'll love Ohio State. It's not affiliated with the university. So I think Tiger Talks, Neil was playing off of that sort of TED acronym. He has to know that.
So maybe I'm not offending him as much.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. He has not told me that he's offended by
That's
you.
good. The Tiger Talks are awesome. So let's touch. I'm sure you've attended a lot of them. I've been to a few. So what? And I need to have Neil on at some point. And, like,
you
really
should
dive
absolutely. He's great.
So just tell me your experience with the Tiger Talks and kind of like maybe a few like really cool topics that you've seen. Or
I don't know his official count. He probably has a count somewhere. I'm up there for one of the people who's given the most Tiger Talks.
Okay.
It may not be the absolute most.
Yeah.
Every year I come back from the Consumer Electronics Show, and that now just CES. They've shortened the name just to the acronym.
Okay.
I come back from CES in Las Vegas, and I give an annual update. I think I've done 7 or 8 of those annual updates on technology and what I see business executives, leaders in our community, people should know about the technology that they're talking about at CES.
Yeah.
So I love those events, but I'm biased that that's one of my talks that I give.
Can we get just like maybe a miniature Tiger on
sure.
consumer?
Sure. Yeah. CES. I mean, it started. It was probably more about gadgets and home gadgets than it is now. It's shifting more towards technology, and you can imagine. I mean, what is the buzzword in technology these days? AI, everything.
Yeah.
So all of the gadgets have AI in them, whether they do or not. They call it AI.
Yeah.
So we could talk about AI. It's a topic that I love, and it's always interesting to me to look at cutting edge technology. And we're not going to apply cutting edge or bleeding edge technology to every project we do. It's not pragmatic for a lot of clients.
Yeah.
But we need to be looking at what's next and how can they start implementing some of that.
Yeah. So I have a problem that maybe you could solve.
For sure. Should I get my computer out? We can actually we could vibe code something right now.
That would be amazing.
Build something. Tell me about the problem.
So youth football, the Central Ohio Youth Football League, COYFL. I was talking with the president today. The way that we do rosters is we take just a headshot of the player, and then they use a Google form, and then you have to upload a Google form for each individual athlete. So it's over 1,200 entries, 52 different rosters. And I was talking to him, and I'm like, I have to go through to each kid and fill out an individual Google form, put my email in, put the player's number, upload the player's picture, and then it goes to a database somewhere, and then he has to take that database and then like organize it by roster. And I'm like, we're not going to solve that right now. But there's got to be a solution to that.
For sure.
I tried asking Grok this morning, and then, like, he's way too smart for me.
Snarky answer. Something rude. So you could definitely build something around that.
There's got to be an answer.
The trick, I mean, I don't know if this is we can spend the rest of the podcast building this out if you'd like to. The image file names, that might be the most complicated thing that I'm thinking about right now. You need some way to associate, because we could upload a spreadsheet and get it into a database and then sort them by team. You could do that pretty easily. The images, making sure that those get associated with the right player would probably be one of the tricks. You just need the player name, or I don't know, a team and a number, something like that.
Somehow to correlate the two.
Yeah, but that's a great example. So there are tools now, whether you want to use ChatGPT will do an okay job of building a single page application. If it's just one file, it can write one file with enough code in it. There are some really cool tools. Lovable.dev is one that has gotten a lot of press lately. Lovable.dev.
Okay.
And even if you misspell it, it'll probably get you there. Because I want to like put an E in there, and I don't know.
Yeah.
So there's one that I like called bolt.new, BOLT.new. There's a whole bunch. There are a whole bunch of them. And have you heard of this concept called vibe coding?
I have not. No.
So I'm a software engineer. I could write the code myself.
Yeah.
I could build the application. We've built plenty of applications from scratch. But this idea that you could come up with this, like I am half tempted, like seriously, half tempted to pull my computer out and like let's just build a quick application that would take a spreadsheet and it would pull that into a database, grab the image, and it would create a roster for you that's sortable. You can pick which team you want. It would show you that team's roster. Yeah. And then depending on what the coaches want to do, they might say, I've coached youth sports, not at the level that you're at. Very young kids.
Yeah.
And so we'll say we need a lineup for the game. And I see my roster. I'm going to say, okay, we're going to do a first half lineup and a second half lineup for my daughter's soccer team, for instance. Pick the kids, and it's going to create the lineup. And I can click a button, and it's going to text it to my other coaches so that they all have the line. Like you could build all that without writing any code these days.
You were the coach that was like super organized. Everybody got the right playing time. I'm like, who's been in? Raise your hand.
Right. Well, it starts off with a great plan, and then it devolves from there. Yeah. Someone doesn't show up, and someone gets tired. Yeah. I try to be organized because I have to put a system in place because I'm not naturally organized. Yeah. My wife is the naturally organized one in our family. Yeah. I have to compensate with systems and technology and trying hard.
Yeah, planning. Yeah. Man, I could go so many different ways with AI, and I don't want to bore anybody with like the technical side of it, but I do think people that are genuinely interested in it and like the future of it. Yeah. So for you particularly, is AI a threat? Should AI be a threat to people? And is AI a threat to, software developers or coders or like forever it was learn to code, right? And now, like just an example, and it's not good, but on the White Fence Living Podcast website, I thought it'd be cool to have a community calendar where the city's calendar is awesome. It has everything in there. There's just a few calendars that aren't. So I was like, man, what if you could add like the athletic department's calendar, the school calendar, to the city calendar, and there's a lot of overlap with the chamber and the foundation. But I thought it'd be cool to find like a really like user-friendly way to build a calendar. So I did it through ChatGPT and like it wrote the code, but the code was so long, so I'd make a small change and then it would just take like 10 minutes and then it would usually time out. So it's amazing what it did, and it's only going to get more powerful. Right. So for somebody who like used to do that work, like what are your thoughts on that? Like, does AI pose a threat?
Is it a threat? Of course it's a threat. I mean, what's not a threat to a business? Like technology is changing, it's evolving, people's needs are changing. You've got the government changing rules and things that we have just held as truths for so long that now you can't assume the things that were true about nonprofit funding that are now true. So there's so much changing. Is AI a threat? Yes, but there are so many other threats. We need to be I would say about my business, we need to constantly be evaluating what is changing. Yeah. And I've heard folks say that for my business, in 5 years, half of the revenue that we have today, half of our sales, half of our clients will no longer be relevant. Wow. We just don't know what half. We don't know what half of the work we're doing is going to be irrelevant. We have to try to figure that out. So that is why I feel like while it might be a threat, it's a huge opportunity. Yep. AI is going to change my industry. It's changing other industries. And we have to adapt with it. Yeah. I don't see it as a brand new thing, though, that AI is unlike anything else that's ever happened. When you look at really old photographs, I don't know if you've ever seen like one of the memes of like kids are so distracted these days, and it shows people in like the 1920s reading newspapers on a train. Yeah. And you're like, so there's been a distraction all along. As technology evolved, we had phones, and so those caused a distraction. Those revolutionized a lot of industries. Yeah, we had in web development design when I started the business. It's been a little bit over 16 years ago now. We were custom developing a lot of sites, a lot of marketing sites. Now you can build those with WordPress. WordPress came along, and it's grown quite a bit. 40% of new websites are built on WordPress. Wow, really? Still? Yeah. It might even be a little bit higher than 45% of new websites. Interesting. About 40% of all sites on the internet are built on WordPress. It's an incredible percentage. Yeah, I didn't realize that. Next highest platform, it's like 3%. It's an amazing. So you can build on WordPress. These page builders, they're plugins for WordPress, or you go to any other platform. as a page builder where you can drag and drop. Those things changed a lot of how. So we don't use our engineers to build sites as much anymore. It's more content strategists and our designers. But with AI, you could automatically generate. There's a tool called Reloom.io that is just amazing how quickly it generates a sitemap or a wireframe. So there are all these tools that come along, and every year in business, I need to be thinking about what's changing in our industry, what new tools are available. What are clients paying us for today that they won't pay us for tomorrow? Or what do they need today that they won't need tomorrow?
Yeah.
So I feel like AI is another one of those things. So we've got to know how to use it.
I think like it's got to be challenged too, because I think some things have lost value in that, like, if AI, like website building has become so easy, not that you can just go build a website and it's going to perform great on Google or search engines or whatever, but at least like at a very basic level, it has become super easy. So therefore I feel like people that develop websites, it's like you used to pay, $10,000-$15,000 for a good website, and now it kind of seems like, man, why would I do that? It's so easy to do. It shouldn't take somebody that long. So I'm sure that's had to have evolved.
There are other parts of the process that are valuable now that didn't used to be valuable. So that if you need a website that looks pretty good, works pretty well on mobile devices, you can build that yourself. You don't need us to do it. Yeah. And that was not true 16 years ago. Just the basics of registering a domain name and an SSL certificate for security. Like there are all these things that we used to have to do that now are just, it's free and it's easy. But there are aspects, as you were alluding to some, like the search engine optimization. Do you want to show up well on search engines? Yep. Now, do you want to show up well in ChatGPT? Like we've got a client where when someone asks about clean water in Indianapolis, they show up in ChatGPT. Like it is the one phone number that's given when someone says, I want to know about water quality in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
And their site shows up.
I'm glad you touched on that, because I know every small business out there is going, wait a minute, how do I remember when Alexa came out, and I remember thinking to myself, man, how could I be Alexa's response?
Yeah.
Well, it's 10x now, like with AI. So how could you, don't give away any secrets, but like, so if we were to say, hey, Buckeye Innovation, we really want to make sure that our business shows up in an AI search, how do you do that?
Yeah, it's challenging. It's very much like search engine optimization. So if AI, all it's doing, it sounds like you have used some of it, you know how some of this works. It is guessing the word. So if I ask it a question, it looks at all the language that it has consumed and it guesses what are the words that would most likely be associated with that prompt you gave me.
Yeah.
So if you want to be the website that it mentions or the phone number Soap and Water wants to be mentioned, you've got to make sure that there's content on your website that uses those words and words associated with it. So it's just like search engine optimization, where although search engine optimization was more deterministic, where you give it an input, you can expect the same output. Yeah. Whereas now, when you've got a I'm getting kind of geeky, probabilistic system, there's a probability. Like when I give it a certain prompt, there's a probability I would get something similar to this, but it might, like if you give ChatGPT the same prompt a bunch of times, it's going to give you different things. Yeah. So if you have a bunch of content on your website that is related to the prompt, it's going to be more likely that you show up.
Yeah, interesting.
It's an evolution.
Like when I'll search something on AI and you see like it instantly is like 121 websites, this many like X post, and I just picture like back in the day on AOL where it's like I'm listening to the dial up and watching it, and I'm like now it's like just scanned 1,000 websites in 2 seconds. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's ChatGPT. Just the new GPT 5.0 is being released, and so that's like these algorithm updates where you'd hear about Google updated their algorithm, and they're doing that constantly on a daily basis. Yeah. Now, when you have this new version of GPT, or Anthropic releases a new version of Claude, those are going to be like, oh, my site used to be, or my business used to be mentioned, and now in this new model, it's not mentioned. Yeah. So I don't know. To me, it's just another tool. We need to know what are the limitations, what are the really great uses for it. But it's just another technology tool. Yeah. And so it's a unique one. We need to try and understand it.
Yeah. I think there's so many good that can come from it.
Yeah.
With obviously there's bad. It's like anything else. But
Right.
like I had Dr. Oza from Your Concierge Doctor.
Yeah.
And he's using AI in his business. And like one of them, and I won't remember it now, but it's basically an AI kind of search engine just for health related things to like debunk myths. And he uses it just like with his clients. Like if you have it, like, should I be taking, one thing we talked about was creatine. And it's like you could just search that and get facts, not just somebody trying to sell creatine. You know what I mean? So
Right.
he said that they have a tool to examine a mole and with like 99% accuracy can say if it needs to be like biopsied or not, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Like that's a insanely like good use of AI.
Right. It is cool. I would assume he's probably also talking about some of the risks, and it sounds like it's supervised AI use, that he's using it with the client so that if it says something crazy, if it says absolutely you should take a whole bottle of creatine, like he knows to tell it, to tell the patients, well, that I can see how maybe it got this from somewhere, but it doesn't actually have knowledge about medicine. It just has consumed all of the content that it reads out there, and it's making a guess. It doesn't actually understand it. So I still feel like humans have an edge in a lot of ways. I also think for doctors or for anyone in any industry, if you come up with brand new creative ideas, something that is not the most probable answer to something, and your business is based on, I'm going to come up with something new and creative that's outside of what could be expected, that is something that AI is not built to do. It is built to give you the most likely answer. And yes, it can consume tons of content, and across all the content in the world, it can give you, like, can synthesize something out of that. It's really just combining and averaging what's out there. It's not saying, I'm going to apply, you need a website. Well, I'm going to look at a totally different industry. I'm going to look at the automotive industry and see what they're doing.
See how it applies here or.
So there are certain things I feel like humans will still be really good at, and tons of them in software development. There are things that AI will be really good at. You did some vibe coding even, you're building something. But as that file gets larger, I've been talking a lot about how it's generating all this code that someone is going to have to support. And if the AI can't fix a bug for you, you're going to have a human who's going to fix that for you.
I needed a human.
It's going to be fascinating what that does to our industry.
And I'm just curious, like, where do you think this lands in 5, 10, 15 years? Like, how do you think? I mean, nobody can predict it. But I mean, because its growth and power is exponential. It's so what, like, do you have if you could guess in the crystal ball, like, what do you think? Can AI get to a point where it is creative? Like, do you think you can get to a point where, like, AI has that ability where it's not just recalling information? Maybe it can learn on its own.
I'm sure it will get better. There are things that I think it may never do. Some of the.
It's not going to be. We're not going to run into iRobot where robots are taking over the world.
I don't think so. I mean, it will do some bad things. I know that at some point here we're going to have some AI that, particularly when you get into agentic AI, when it's an agent, it's going out and doing things on your behalf. Someone's going to give it its credit card number, and it's going to rack up a bunch of debt, and we're going to have to figure out whose responsibility is that. Or it might hurt someone. So. And we've seen some instances of AI giving someone advice and telling them what to put on their pizza, and it's not an edible topping, or gives them some medical. So we're starting to see that. But your question, 5 years out, it's going to keep getting better. I think there's something authentic about human connection that it's never going to replace. And you hear about people dating an AI bot or using it. I mean, I've done it too. I've asked questions like I would a therapist. I go to a therapist. I think going to a human therapist is a very good, healthy thing to do. I've asked some therapy-like questions of a chatbot. So, I mean, I think it's going to keep getting better, but there's still going to be something about an authentic human connection that can't be replaced.
For sure.
And I see all sorts of things right now that are limitations. Some of those will be addressed, but some of us will not keep up with the pace of AI, and it will replace jobs. Some people, though, I think will keep adapting and will say, well, where do I provide value? If not consuming all of the code that's out there and learning how to write something, is it the creative ideas about how we combine different systems together, or all sorts of things I'm noticing, sending emails, server-side processing, handling time zones. There are a lot of things it doesn't handle well. Responsive design, you got to very specifically tell it, how do you design something for a phone and a desktop computer?
Yeah.
There are a lot of edge cases that it doesn't handle right now.
Yeah.
A lot of which I think a human can handle better. So those are the things that I'm thinking a lot about.
Yeah.
And then there's the whole topic of how do we use this technology to bridge equity gaps? Like this could cause bigger gaps, could cause big workforce problems that AI can do the job of a junior developer right now. And you see a lot of tech companies who are saying, well, we're not hiring any junior developers because we'll just use AI to do that junior work. What's the long-term implication of that? If you never have someone who's junior, in 10 years, you're not going to have anyone who's mid-level.
Yeah.
Because you never had them a junior.
So you've told me you're super passionate about that how you can bridge that equity gap, and just tell me some of the work and your thoughts and like what your passion is around that.
Yeah. So I attended a neat talk. We did a dinner about Ikigai. Have you heard of that principle?
No.
The Japanese principle called Ikigai, Ikigai, Ikigai. And it's this intersection between what you're good at, what you love, what the world needs, and what you can get paid to do. So if you think of like a Venn diagram, but 4 parts, and right in the middle there that meets all 4 of those criteria, that's your Ikigai. And the more time you can spend in that area, the better. The better for longevity and your fulfillment.
What were those pieces again?
So what you love doing, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can get paid to do. And so that's got to be, to some extent, it's a career. I'm in a unique position as an entrepreneur. I've built a business around the things that I love doing and I'm good at. And then I find, where does the world need those skills and how can I get paid to do those things? And so we're trying to help solve a lot of problems. We work with a lot of local governments and nonprofits, some for-profit businesses as well. But I think 8 of our top 10 clients last year were nonprofit local government clients.
That's awesome.
And so we're I mean, it's not all AI. We're doing some applying. We have an application called VocaFit, a vocational fit assessment. That
and this is something you guys developed.
We built. There's a technology out of Ohio State University that now the principal investigators left, and they're at Cincinnati Children's and Colorado State University. We built the application for them that took their spreadsheet model. They used to have just spreadsheets they would create, and they would sit down with a student with disabilities and their family, and family members would say, well, here are his abilities or her abilities, and things that they can do well right now. And then they had all these jobs that were evaluated, what skills are required for those jobs. And their spreadsheet model would match that up and say, here are a few jobs that would be really great, that would help develop the skills that they need, but uses the abilities that they currently have. And so we took that from a spreadsheet model where they could work with 1 student a month, or it was not a very fast pace. And now they can just pump out these reports. And it's self-service, it's software as a service model. So they're able to do this. I got a video a few months ago from our client when he was in Italy, and he had a video of someone in Italy in Italian describing this VocaFit application. It's like, this is really cool. This thing we built, they're talking about it in Italy, they're spreading it internationally. So that we use a little bit of AI in that for job matching. We've got the technology that they build at OSU, but then also some AI to analyze a little bit more beyond the data. And match natural language processing, look at what are the jobs that we have in our job bank, and can we match those up to the students' interests as well and add some extra components in it. But it's things like that. So there's students who maybe would not traditionally be brought into the workforce because they have a disability. And we're able to help build some technology that matches them up better.
That's
like that.
Really cool. That's like, it's those sort of things, like, and obviously doing this, like, I have a great appreciation just for human connection. Like, I don't know. I'm one of the people that are like pessimistic of AI and technology, and just because I kind of like the way things are, like I'm just naturally like resistant to it. My wife's way more than I. She's like, want nothing to do with technology. But I do like, it's cool to hear stories like that where the technology is serving such a like great purpose. That's fantastic. Any other pieces on that, like bridging that equity gap?
Well, so when I give my CES talks, the last couple talks they had last year. I'm trying to remember what their theme was last year. It was they just talked about security for all. They talked recently about human connection, and it's interesting when you talk about human connection and technology. That technology frequently we can see the kids putting a phone in their face, and it's keeping them from interacting with other people. It can separate us more, but it can also connect us more.
Yep.
So Apple Vision Pro might be an example I would give. I'm a big fan of a lot of the concept of Vision Pro. Have you tried it before?
No.
I saw a guy here at BrickHouse Blue using it the other day. Yeah. First person I had seen actually using it here.
Here's me. Like, I don't even know what it is.
Okay, so I'll describe. Did you ever see Google Glass?
Yeah.
Google Glass is augmented reality. It's got a little screen on a glasses frame.
Yep.
But there weren't actually glasses in it. And then have you seen Meta Quest?
And augmented meaning like I'm seeing the real world, but there's also like some
right.
Yeah.
Your view of the real world is augmented, or it's added to with some sort of a display.
Yeah.
And similarly, I've got the Ray-Ban Meta glasses that have Meta AI built into them, and there's no screen to see, but you can do audio prompts. So it's got a microphone, and I can say, "Hey Meta," and ask it questions.
Yeah.
I could take pictures and video with it, but there's no screen to see. So, so Apple Vision Pro, for instance. It feels, when I put Apple Vision Pro on, it looks like a VR headset. And if someone's wearing a VR headset and you go up to talk to them, it's going to feel like they can't see me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to interact with this person. So it feels like it's very much dividing people.
Yeah.
But the promise, so it could just divide people. But the promise of Vision Pro and what it does for technology, it's actually augmented reality. That when I put it on, I can see everything around me. And the latency is so low, the delay between something happening and me seeing it.
You can't tell the difference.
It's so low. Someone can throw me a baseball and I can catch it while wearing this headset. So the promise of it, I think, is that it could help connect people more. That unlike a typical VR headset, that I put it on and now no one else around me wants to talk with me. Now it needs more iterations because the current way that it shows up, it definitely is off-putting. You wouldn't want to talk to someone wearing it. But it has the possibility of helping someone who maybe hasn't had a real job before at a office to wear this headset and have this sort of a VR experience. And maybe they sit at their own desk and it's augmented reality and they can experience what's it like to sit at their desk for a remote job and interact with someone.
Yeah.
Or maybe I want to see the Great Barrier Reef, and it's going to get bleached and it's not going to be around in a few years, and I don't want to hurt the environment and go there, and so I can experience scuba diving in the Great Barrier Reef with this headset and augmented reality style. I might be able to interact with things or reach out and like virtually pick up the coral.
Yeah.
So there's all these sort of experiences that I think it can enable, whether it's workforce development or it's entertainment, it's travel. There are a lot of things that it could do to provide experiences. Or I have a 360 camera. I play with a lot of technology, as you can tell. A 360 camera that I put down with my daughters when they were opening Christmas gifts. And then I could send that video to their grandparents in Florida and say, I'm sorry, we weren't able to open gifts with you, but here's a video. And they could either put that in a VR headset, they're not ready for that yet, or on their camera, they could, on their phone, they can look at the video and they can like look around and just move around with their phone. And it's like they're in that room with the kids and they can see my one daughter here and the other one here and the opening gifts. And so being able to connect people better is important, but misused, it can absolutely divide people.
Yeah.
And so
I could see people getting addicted to that.
For sure.
Just why go out in the real world? Because I could just live this like fantasy life through VR, which is kind of scary.
Yeah.
Again, I told you I'm a pessimist about this.
You have to trust the people that are using it.
Yeah.
And I can understand not trusting some of the tech companies to do things right. In New Albany, we have great people. As I think about leaders in New Albany, we've got a trip coming up next month, a DC fly-in that Sheree Nelson from the New Albany Chamber is organizing to take us to Washington, D.C. and meet with legislators.
That's awesome.
I think it's very important that we have leaders. We've got a business community. We've got the city of New Albany doing some great things. Great nonprofit community. Craig Moore at the New Albany Community Foundation.
Yeah.
He would be a great guest as well, talking about all the things that they do.
I got a quick story about that. So the foundation. So I had, and this is tying into like human connection and why I think that like sometimes I think technology will put a greater value on like real human connection because. So I had Irene Adams on.
Yeah.
Karen Wellington Foundation. I hadn't talked to Irene in a long time, and she reached out and she's like, "Oh, you're doing a podcast. This is so fun. Can I come on?" I'm like, "Absolutely." So she's explaining the foundation. I knew a little bit about it, but I'm learning more. And I won't use any names, but there's a teacher in the district who was recently diagnosed. And I'm like, I got to nominate this person. And so as soon as we finish, I'm like, Irene, I got somebody for you. Long story short, that family was nominated and got to take a trip and like has completely changed their outlook on the treatment. And they're both educators. Well, so the foundation, this was the first gift from the foundation. They wanted to keep it to anybody within the school district, and they said that like it'd be really cool if we were able to give to somebody in the school, right? And
absolutely.
Not that they ever wanted that to happen, but it did, and that was their first gift with Karen Wellington Foundation was to a teacher in this family, and so it was incredible. And like I've told everybody, like this is just fun. I enjoy doing this. It's a hobby. I'm not going to make a living doing this. But just that one connection.
Absolutely.
Like, if that's all I get out of this,
changing some lives.
It was incredible. So, anyways, just wanted to
that's
tie
great.
that piece.
I was on the New Albany Chamber Board with Irene years ago.
Okay. Yeah.
I love running into her. She and Ted will be out on a walk. We ran into them at in Market Square the other day. We were getting ice cream. So, that's great that you're able to make those connections.
So cool. Yeah, really cool. Really cool.
So we need to be leveraging people in New Albany. We've got some amazing people with great talents and passions. We need to be leveraging that. Craig, I think, does a great job of bringing money to the table, making sure that donors who have a passion, there's something that they care about that they want to sustain beyond their life.
Yep.
Then connecting that with the nonprofits, with the needs. And we have needs right here in our community. Garden for All, a great organization here in New Albany that has grown a lot. They have a new farm out in Johnstown.
Yeah.
My daughter and I are going to volunteer there on Friday.
Nice.
And
go pick some weeds.
Pick some weeds. They've got a lot more produce to harvest.
It's a big farm, right? I mean,
it is. It has dramatically increased what they're able to do.
Yeah. I need to check that out.
Yeah. So I love that we're taking something that started in New Albany and has had some funding from New Albany, and it's growing beyond our community. So yes, there are needs in New Albany. We've got a great food pantry that's serving some important needs here. There's a fairly large portion of the students of the school that are on free and reduced lunch as well. So hunger is a challenge here. Mental health support, very, very important. A lot of things that are important to support here. But then we also, I feel very strongly that we in New Albany, we've got a lot of privilege. And I struggle a little bit with the role that wealth and privilege play in my life. And there are some entrepreneurs who can say, I started with nothing and I grew up in a very poor family. I had a great support system as a kid. I wouldn't say I grew up in the wealthiest of families, but I had a lot of support. Yeah. And so I feel like there's a responsibility for us to not, I guess I'll speak for myself. I don't want to speak for others. I feel a great responsibility to use the resources that I have, some of which I was given, some come to me out of luck, some come to me out of systemic inequities, honestly, things that have been built into the system. And I want to leverage other people in New Albany and other people in entrepreneurs organization, a great organization of entrepreneurs, leverage those relationships and those resources to help find people who lack some of the opportunities that I've had and make sure that they get those opportunities. So that I'm trying to work that into the business, but that's a big part of my personal mission as well.
Yeah, no, I think that's like, you got to have that purpose, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think if you can find that, mission statements and all those things are great for your business, but like, I can tell you genuinely, like, I can see the purpose pouring out of you in those things.
Yeah.
Which is great. Cause I think you're right. Like, every community is unique, but New Albany's it's a little different. Like,
it's cool. Yeah. It's really cool. The combination of resources and passion and there's a lot of neat businesses here, the schools, the parks and trails. We've got a lot going on here.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah. I tell my kids all the time, like, you are so lucky to grow up in a community like this.
Yeah. Getting them out of the community, I think, is an important thing. Doing some travel. I know we, like many people, found a love for national parks during the pandemic, and I've always been I've always been a fan of national parks, primarily Yellowstone National Park. I grew up going out there as a kid, and my mom's from Utah, so we would travel out.
I really want to take that trip to Yellowstone.
Yeah, it's
I'm
amazing.
done. I hate the beach, so we take these beach vacations, and I'm like, I just don't like it. So
Well, there's so many national. We went to Acadia National Park.
Okay,
that's
yeah.
up in Maine,
Yeah.
and so there's some beach there, but a lot of cliffs. But we love national parks because it's untouched nature. You know,
Yeah.
it's protected, and
Yeah.
so you don't get the crowded beaches. You get a beautiful beach that's not crowded, and it's well protected. It's not commercialized.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can. I see a lot of those opportunities where some New Albany kids do a lot of travel, but there
Yeah,
are
yeah.
others who don't get out of New Albany and don't know that there's something.
There's a world
beyond.
out there.
There's a world out there. There are different struggles.
yeah,
And whether it's visiting via AI or visiting via VR, where they
Yeah.
have this VR experience and they can see how someone else lives. How does a student in a different country live?
Yeah.
And what are the challenges that they even here within Columbus? Though I'm the current chair for City Year Columbus.
okay.
You're familiar with City Year?
I'm not.
So City Year, it's an AmeriCorps program. So it's
Okay.
young folks who are generally recently graduated from high school to recently graduated from college, and they are going to go out and do a year of service in the community. And there are a lot of different AmeriCorps programs. City Year is one program that AmeriCorps funds. We have these young professionals, a lot of whom are just out of college, who come and they spend a year in Columbus City schools.
Nice.
And they partner with teachers. They're student success coaches, so they'll augment the teachers' ability to work with more students.
Yeah.
They'll give them more one-on-one interventions. So even just within Columbus, not very far from New Albany, we've got great resources. And a lot of people know about the funding in schools in Ohio. It has been ruled unconstitutional
Yeah.
over a dozen times because it's all based on property value. So communities that have more expensive houses are going to have better education. And that is not equitable. That is
No.
not fair.
Yeah.
And just right in Columbus, there's a great need.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's the kind of thing where I want students here to see what are the challenges that students deal with even just in Columbus City schools.
Yeah, I did. So I was an educator years ago. And so part of like the licensure or graduating was like you had to do like a co-op in inner city. So I got matched. I was at Northland with Satch Solinger, which was an amazing experience. And I know a lot of the community knows Satch because he hangs out at Starbucks. But man, I learned so much in that 6 weeks that like I never would have learned, if I were doing that co-op at New Albany.
Yeah.
It was just an incredible experience. So yeah, I can appreciate that. Like, yeah, I don't know. There would be like if some New Albany students went to a Columbus Public for a few days, there'd be some culture shock for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's important for them to know that's out there
Right.
and experience it. And yeah, I don't know. Having done that, like I don't know if I really strongly consider teaching in Columbus Public, but I definitely was like it just felt like you could have more of an impact.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's neat. So I want to talk a little more about Buckeye Innovation and like what do your clients look like? Like what exactly are you doing in the business right now?
Sure.
What services are like, what's the core of what you do?
Yeah.
Like, who's your ideal client?
Yeah. Good question. So,
Us, other than Central Ohio Youth Football League.
right. Yeah. We can help you out. We can vibe code something later. We'll figure that out. Actually, I was just talking to Melanie on my team, our vice president of growth and strategic engagement, about setting up a Tiger workshop where we could teach people how to use one of the many AI coding tools.
That'd be cool.
So you could bring that to the workshop, and we could, or we just hang out here at BrickHouse Blue.
That too.
And we can build it. So yeah, our typical client, a lot of our clients are local government and nonprofit.
Okay.
I would say any sort of an organization that is trying to bridge an equity gap, and they want to use technology to build capacity to help them do their work better. So if you've got an important equity gap, an important change you want to see in the community, and your organization thinks maybe there's a way to do this better, maybe technology and design could help us.
Yeah.
I want to have those conversations.
Can you highlight maybe a client that is doing that you've worked with, or?
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of different needs in the community. So another one I might, VokeFit was a really good one. I enjoyed that with students with disabilities.
Yeah.
Opportunity Port is another one that our team has really enjoyed. And there are a couple local ones here that we're working with right now, and hopefully they wouldn't mind me talking about them. Opportunity Port was a really great project for the justice involved community. If you have something on your criminal record, it can even just be a minor offense. Maybe it's not even a conviction. That can cause discrimination in housing and lending, employment, in a lot of different ways. And so Opportunity Port, what they did is they said someone who's coming out of the judicial system, maybe they've spent a little bit of time in jail or in prison, and they want to have their record cleared. And legally, there is a way to have your record sealed after a certain period of time if they're fairly minor offenses, they're not violent offenses. But they just don't want to have anything to do with the legal system. Like, I'm just done with it. And do I want to fill out a bunch of paperwork and go back to court?
Or hire somebody to help you
hire
do it?
someone. Yeah, you may not have the money to. So Opportunity Port started with Rob Dorans, a Columbus City Council member, and Hannah Miller, who was on his staff. And they built this application. They had a vision for the application. They went to Smart Columbus, a really great organization in town we've done several projects with. And said, we want to build an application that helps with the record sealing process for someone who is legally allowed to get their record sealed. We just want to make it easy for them.
Yeah.
The law says that this should happen. We want to make that easy. And so we built an application that works with the reading level of someone who's coming out of the prison system, and helps just make it very easy, like wizard style. Fill in this information. We'll connect you up with free legal assistance at the Self-Help Resource Center, or we had a bunch of different legal partners, and then would help them through the record sealing process.
Wow.
So it automates a lot more of the process. And the studies, I think, showed that for someone who gets their record sealed, on average, 1 year after getting their record sealed, their income is increased by $10,000 a year.
Wow.
It's an amazing impact that it can have on someone's life. So that was another one where we could build some technology. It bridges this equity gap, makes a huge difference.
Which has to be, and maybe there is, like, returning to the system is probably greatly reduced. The chances.
I would think so.
Assume so.
Right. With an increased income, the ability to get a job that is more fulfilling for you, that leverages your skills more.
There's some real rehabilitation there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
really cool.
A lot of local government clients. The city of New Albany has been a big client of ours over the years. Most recently, we launched a new intranet for them. So all the staff members of the city of New Albany use this intranet for their communication. The main website for the city of New Albany we built, the Innovate New Albany website. We manage the city of Hilliard's website.
Wow.
We did a bunch of websites for the Delaware County government a number of years ago. City of Powell we've worked with, OBATs.
Cool.
Locally here. So do you know Buddy Up for Life?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So Buddy Up for Life, they were a tenant. They're now next door, next building over.
Yeah.
We're working with them.
I had Beth on the show.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
I missed that episode. I'll have to go back. I've listened to most of your episodes.
Thank you.
So we're working with Beth and her team on a new website for them and a volunteer management system.
That's really cool.
We have a product that we've been building, this volunteer management system. They're our pilot client for it.
Wow.
You've probably volunteered at some point and you have to sign up.
Yep.
Usually there's some software for it. The process, we use Sign Up Genius at my daughter's school for a lot of things. It just feels like an application that was built 10 or 15 years ago.
Yeah,
and so we want something that's modern, that is very easy to use, that adds those volunteer appointments to your calendar, that sends out reminders, and makes communication easy, streamlines the check-in process. Yeah. So a modern application that's very easy and serves a need in the community.
Yeah.
So Buddy Up is a great organization. I volunteered with them as well.
Yeah.
Buddy Up Tennis.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I got to get my kids doing it.
Yeah.
Once they're old enough. I forget what the age is, but
Great volunteer opportunity for them.
It is really cool.
Are they tennis players or pickleball players? Or
Pickleball, but just like grandma plays pickleball.
Awesome.
So we got a court in the back, basketball court that they use for it. They love it.
That's great.
It's great. That's a good segue into kids. So let's talk about you. Kind of like, where are you from?
I grew up in Dublin.
Dublin, okay.
Yeah, not too far away.
And went to Ohio State.
I said I wanted to get away to college, and then my guidance counselor encouraged me to apply to Ohio State. They had a scholarship program. And I visited their honors program, and I just absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
The attention that I could get in the honors program, the resources of a university like Ohio State. I loved it so much. I decided to go there, got the scholarship, which was helpful. Decided to go there, and I became a recruiter for Ohio State's honors program.
Nice.
And then that's where I met my wife. She also became a recruiter
How awesome
in the same program.
Great. So is she from the Columbus area as well?
She's from Northwest Ohio.
Okay.
Grew up, moved around a lot in Northwest Ohio.
Yeah.
But then came to Ohio State, and we met there.
Very nice.
We've been in New Albany now 17 years.
Okay.
We've got two daughters, 15 and 11.
15 and 11. Yep, 15, that's scary.
Yeah. A lot of people, I hear from people, wow, these teen years, like just I've got this little terror.
Yeah.
I honestly, I might be a little biased. I have not experienced it yet.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good.
Teenagers can also be really incredible, inspiring, delightful people. And I don't want to say, with rose-colored glasses that everything is amazing.
Yeah, because I'm waiting for that.
Yeah, I mean, there are challenges, but there are a lot of ways that Noelle, my 15-year-old, that she inspires me. I became vegetarian because of my 11-year-old.
Wow. Okay.
Which you could argue whether that's like an ethical good thing. Yeah. Like, I mean, there's little harm that can be done going vegetarian.
Yeah.
I don't need great praise for it, but I feel like she has inspired in me this care for the environment and for animals and even my own health. I feel better with a vegetarian diet.
Yeah.
My 15-year-old also a lot of care for the environment. She's got the entrepreneurial bug. I think both of them do, but maybe a little more so the 15-year-old. She's running a babysitting business. She's got a business called Crafty Kids Care.
Great.
There's I don't know if you've ever been to Inside and Out.
Yeah.
Little boutique part of Oakland Nurseries. They're one of her customers.
Nice. I was in there recently.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Where's her stuff at?
So right at the register, just to the left of the register, there's a little display case, and it's got some hand painted greeting cards.
How cool is that?
So yeah, she's got them there, and she's got them also at Elliott Cooper in Market Square.
Yeah.
So something I haven't done. I have not had retail distribution of a product before, and she's got reorders from both of those customers.
Wow, that's awesome.
I of course helped her set up the e-commerce side of it. So anyway, having kids, I absolutely have loved it. I had 7 nephews. I didn't know what to do with a girl in the family until we had our daughters.
Yeah.
And I am 100% girl dad now. Like I all in on parenting, and it's wonderful.
Oldest girl, so I've got 4. My oldest girl is like super easy right now.
Oh yeah.
Like she just
good. You have got at least one. It's easy.
My oldest boy, not so much.
Yeah.
the youngest girl, not so much.
Yeah.
But it's kind of amazing how different they all are.
Yeah.
But
all unique beings.
I could see where you're saying. So my oldest girl, I think she'll be that.
Yeah.
Like I don't see her being a difficult teenager.
Yeah.
The others, we'll see.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, there of course are challenges. No marriage, no family life is perfect. My wife is amazing. She homeschools Noelle, our 15-year-old. And she was a school psychologist. She did psychology undergrad and then school psychology grad school.
Wow.
Brilliant, super organized, a great planner, balances me out incredibly well. I'm an engineer. She's a psychologist. So it's very different people, but with very similar values and missions. And so,
that's really cool.
Yeah.
So how's homeschool? Like, so you got a rock star at home, so she's kicking butt.
Yeah. Noelle's great, very highly motivated. Every kid needs something different. And, we moved to New Albany because we wanted really great schools. And do they have great schools here? Yes. The test scores are amazing. The resources they have, the McCoy Center for the Arts, the Henson Amphitheater, they just have so many amazing programs and resources. It didn't end up being the right thing for Noelle. She was very, very stressed out. And I remember going to a coffee one time and talked with Mr. Sawyers, the superintendent, and I said, can we just get a little less pressure on Noelle? Like she's really stressed out. She's a high achiever, very smart. She'll do well. Just we need less pressure. He said, for every one of you, I hope I remember this right. I'm not misquoting Mr. Sawyers. For every parent like you who's saying put less pressure, we're having 10 say
more.
Why aren't you challenging my kid more?
Yeah.
So it didn't end up being the right thing.
Yeah.
Noelle is now, she came home, her mental health and wellness immediately improved.
Wow.
And she's thriving in homeschool. And
Good.
she considered going back, going to private school. I've got one who's at Columbus School for Girls, Gloria, our little one, little one, 11. And everyone needs their own thing. She considered going there. She just loves homeschool so much. It gives her a lot of independence. I think she's like me, that she wants to control. She wants to be the master of her own domain. She wants to control her schedule. And homeschool is the entrepreneurship equivalent, the self-employment equivalent in schooling.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you can get a lot more done, right?
You can.
It's amazing.
Compress your day.
Yeah.
We've got a 4-day work week at Buckeye Innovation because I want the kind of people who are going to optimize their schedule, who are going to be super efficient and are going to get things done. And they can do it in 4 days by cutting out waste, cutting out time that doesn't need to be spent. And so you can do the same thing in homeschool. So you know what? We're going to compress it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have fun. I'm going
to. We implemented that. I tried it at my previous company, and it did well because you cut a lot of inefficiencies. Like this is in the home services, but yeah, there's a lot of inefficiencies in travel and things that happen every day. If you can, obviously cut back on that. We did do it at Soap and Water for a little bit, and it does work. It works well. I love it because then our team's getting more time off.
Yeah.
Like go home, be with your family, plan a weekend, like
Right.
spend time, like refresh, because it can be such a grind here. Like give me Monday through Thursday, take Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. And I think it worked pretty well. We kind of strayed away from it a little bit. I just think because weather, it's so weather dependent. We would always like fall back. We'd end up working that day anyways. But I love that idea. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure you're probably more productive, I would assume, at a 4-day work week.
I think so. When we switched over to the 4-day work, and we're jumping back and forth.
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
talk some more parenting in a second here. The 4-day work week, when we switched over to it, I told some of my entrepreneur friends in EO, I think it was in my entrepreneurs organization group, I said, we want to grow, got a goal of growing 25% in revenue this year, and we're switching to a 4-day work week. And they said, wait a second.
Do both of those.
You want to grow by 25% while cutting your work week by 20%. I said, yeah, actually, it's the same behaviors. The behaviors that enable us to cut our work week back by 20%, it can go down to 4 days instead of 5. Those same behaviors of efficiency, identifying what's really going to deliver value to clients and what's not.
Yeah.
It's those same things that are going to enable us to grow. So yes, we're going to grow while cutting our work week back.
Yeah.
And it's been fantastic.
That's awesome.
And I love it.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of companies have a 4-day work week. They just don't know it.
Well, so you can have people who are, at best 80% focused for 5 days.
Yeah.
Or can you get them 100% focused for 4 days?
Yeah.
I think a lot of studies would show they might be 60% focused, or so maybe you're getting 3 days out of them, even though they're physically there for 5 days.
It's kind of like this concept of like unlimited vacation. Like you hear companies going like, you don't have vacation, you just take vacation when you want.
Yeah.
Use your vacation how you want. And I've spoke with some people that are they're in a sales role, and it doesn't change anything their productivity whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like they're able to budget their time. They're able to like have some flexibility. And I think like for me, I almost would like feel like I might work more, because then it would be like, I'm on vacation, but I can still work,
Right.
So I think that's a unique concept too. It's kind of like, what do you mean unlimited vacation?
Yeah.
But you still have a job to do.
Right.
There's other ways to measure.
Yeah, we do meter vacation. I think it's important also, if you're not taking enough vacation, you're not taking enough time off, that's a problem.
Yeah.
You're never disconnecting. A big part, I read a couple of books called, one was Rest, and the other one was Shorter. And the first one by the same author, I can't remember the author's name. Rest was about great leaders that a lot of us recognize as great, powerful leaders or influential leaders in community and in politics and historically world leaders, and how they valued rest. A lot of well-respected leaders have taken naps during the day, or they take sabbaticals, or they take a week off once a month. Just like the amount of rest that they get is really incredible.
I hope my wife listens to this, because I love a nap.
Yeah, well, my wife will appreciate you saying that. My wife is encouraging a lot of rest. I came back from family camp this weekend.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I told my wife, I'm not as sore. I'm not as physically sore as I was last year. I don't know if it's because I didn't do enough at summer camp, that I didn't push myself enough, or if I'm doing a better job balancing. She said, "Oh, you did plenty." She wants to encourage rest.
Yeah.
So the rest is really good about what is the value of intentional rest, and then Shorter specifically applies that to the work week, and it looks at a bunch of different companies that have shortened their work week, encouraging intentional rest. And intentional rest for an engineer or a software developer frequently does not look the same. This is something I talk with my wife about. Rock climbing might be intentional rest, so that it's a rest from work.
Yeah.
I'm disconnecting, I'm doing something different, I'm resting my mind. Doesn't mean I'm resting my body.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that Abby sees differently, my wife. But so Shorter talks a lot about what does it look like to physically shorten your work week?
Yeah.
Fewer hours. It's not 4 10-hour days. It's 4 essentially 8-hour days. Everyone on my team, except for we've got one intern from New Albany High School this summer. she's hourly. Everyone else is salaried. So we're not metering the hours, but I'm telling them, I want you to shorten your week. I don't want you to compress your week. I want you to shorten it. I want you to cut out waste.
Yeah.
So those are two good books that I think inspired.
Yeah, I'll have to check them out.
Yeah.
I like the concept, and I think for the most part, I mean, it just, I think it works. It just makes sense. It's not, now I'm sure there's some industries where it doesn't, right? But
it's hard. We have one client in particular who does not love our 4-day work week, wants support on Fridays, but it's a great challenge of figuring out how do you communicate. This is what we're trying to do with an innovative business practice.
Yep.
The solutions you're getting are going to be more creative because my team stops after Thursday.
Yeah.
And if you need something this week, we're going to get it to you sooner. You're going to get it Thursday. We're going to get you the same amount of work, but in 4 days. And they're going to be more creative solutions because my team disconnects. How often do you have your most brilliant ideas when you're in the shower or you're out on the golf course or you're doing something outside of work, the focused, dedicated at your computer kind of work. Yeah. So we're giving more time for that. And that intentional rest, whether that's, we've got some team members who like to go hiking or cycling. One of our team members, Stacy, organizes the Pan Ohio Hope Ride, cancer research fundraising event. And so she takes some time to go on cycling rides and plan. So that time, it's community time, it's family time. Who among us doesn't need a little bit more time with our family? I want that for myself, so I'm going to give it to my team too.
Yeah, no, I think it's fantastic because man, especially if you have young people. Not that I'm calling myself young or younger, like I can't imagine if I had a job that I was tied 9 to 5, that I couldn't like go to the kids' school for an event or that flexibility to me is invaluable.
Yeah.
Like, to be able to go volunteer for. Entrepreneur Day, or go to the the park with the class, like those things. I can't imagine not being able to do that.
Yeah,
super
absolutely,
super important too.
That's a big part of why I started my business. I wanted flexibility. My mom was PTO president for multiple years when I was a kid. I said, you know what, Abby, I want you to know. If you want to be PTO president, like you're going to have some competition. I want to be a PTO president dad this year and so we've got one homeschooled, so there's no real PTO there.
Oh, you're the PTO.
I am I'm vice president of the PTO with my wife. At Columbus School for Girls, I'm the Parents Association treasurer this year. So I'm one of 4 or 5 executive team members. So working my way up there.
Yeah.
So I think it's super important that I have time to volunteer. I want my daughter's friends, both of the girls, I want their friends to know me.
Yep.
I want them to know who I am and that I'm a part of Gloria's life and Noelle's life. And so I think that's important. It's important to me that I know the teachers, that I'm there at the school. I sometimes will spend a little bit too much time there, and so I've had some comments like, weren't you here yesterday?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm there too many days,
they might start paying you.
They might. So we actually built some stuff for. I built an Alexa skill, and this will be my official pitch for it. That I took to CSG. I said, kids have trouble remembering their instruments on instrument day, or their gym shoes. Make sure they wear the right shoes on gym day. And so I built an Alexa skill where my daughters can say, "Alexa, open Unicorn Report." Unicorns are the mascot for CSG. And it opens up and it tells them, today is an A day. You have instruments. Don't forget your instrument today. For lunch, we have chicken fingers. And so it looks up the lunch menus. It looks up what day it is.
I need that.
Based on their grade. So this is one of the products that we might try and commercialize. Schools are traditionally not amazing, like nonprofits, like local government, at adopting brand new technologies. There are a lot of cool technologies they use, but there are some things that are not as accessible because particularly at, I should be looking at schools that might be outside of New Albany, outside of private schools where there may be a fair amount of funding available.
Yeah.
But I want to build technology that makes people's lives better.
Yeah.
Maybe doesn't replace you as a parent, but instead, if your kid keeps out every morning, they ask you, hey, what do I need today? Or they don't ask you, and then they get to school and they're like, hey, can you bring me my instrument?
Yeah.
No, let's just ask the Alexa.
Yeah. My wife, Natalie, yesterday was like losing her mind because she's, so we're in 3 different buildings. So we're out of the ELC now. Yeah. So primary, intermediate, and middle school. And so 4 kids in those 3 buildings. And like she wrote down everything that we have to do just this week. And I'm like, holy, like, how are we going to do it? I don't know how we're going to be in all these places at once.
There are two of you.
Yeah.
You got 3 buildings.
That's exactly right. So I kind of like it because the kids like they're pretty independent. Like they have to be. Like the 2 older ones for sure. Like we can't constantly remind them of everything. So I think it's built some independence in them, which is great. But it's also like when something does fall through as a parent, I'm like, I feel terrible. Like they needed their instrument and they didn't have it. Well, man, maybe I should have been there to like kind of help them, remind them. But the other part of it is I don't have the mental capacity to remember it all anyways. So it's like they don't really have a choice. I can't remember every like teacher, every bus time, it'll take me 6 months to figure out the bus times.
Yeah.
Like I'll still have to go back to where we have it written down.
So so if they could build some technology around that,
that'd be pretty cool.
Finding the things, and we do this with businesses as well, nonprofits. What are the pieces of information that you really need that are hard to get, or there are multiple pieces of information in different places, and we could automate pulling those together. Maybe it's instead of all the emails that you get and you got to sort through all that information. Maybe it's giving one centralized website where all the information is, or it's a text messaging system where you can say, will you please text me every morning every morning that we have instrument day, or text me the night before. Like those sort of things that could be done. We like to do that with nonprofit and local government and business. For business, you can drive a lot of efficiency by taking these disconnected systems, integrating them together, building some piece of custom software, maybe even largely automatically generated with AI, and it can revolutionize the way that you run your business.
Yeah, that's one thing I think that's going to be a really cool byproduct of AI is like people have a lot of good ideas. There's so many ideas out there that have probably never come to fruition because they didn't have the skill set or the resources to have somebody develop it.
Right.
So I think that's pretty cool, like where somebody be like, this is a cool idea. I think we're going to see more innovative things like that because there's less of a barrier to it. So I'm kind of excited to see that.
Yeah.
People like me like dreaming like this, like we're like at some point could we just like describe this like voiced to software, like we just describe what we wanted and it'll go do it?
Absolutely. I mean, these tools like lovable.dev, like you've seen with ChatGPT, it's a single file it generates. The bolt.new or lovable.dev, they build you a whole file system, the whole application.
Wow.
So I am a big Girl Scout volunteer as well. My wife runs the troops. I'm the cookie dad for my younger one's troop and help out with cookie sales. I'm the treasurer for both troops. And I try and get the girls involved. Like we used NFC tags, NFC like you would use kind of the technology for tap to pay, but you see them access cards for buildings. And so I gave them for the Girl Scout cookie sales. Do you have any Girl Scouts?
No.
Your daughter doesn't do that. So for Girl Scout cookie sales, they now have a digital cookie platform that Girl Scouts of USA provided. But then I give them each this little credit card size NFC card with their photo and their favorite cookie on it. There's a QR code on the back in case you just want to scan the QR code, but you can tap it to a phone. So they go door to door for sales, and it's in the winter. Great planning, Girl Scout. The cookies don't melt, but it's like January to March. Go door to door in the cold of winter, and they'll have the card like in their glove, and they'll say, "Would you like to buy some Girl Scout cookies?" And the customer says, "Yeah, do you have your order form with you?" She says, "Well, just tap on my glove with your phone, and you can order cookies." And they're like, What do you mean?" And so just the way that the girls enjoy that technology and they can see the application of it. Or I built for packaging, basically packing slips for the cookies. We've got to organize all of those orders and put them together. And so I created this packing slip generator. They can download their orders and just upload them into this generator, and it gives them these pretty little thank you notes.
How cool is that?
Like a pick and pack list. Here's how many of each variety they need. Wow. Trying to introduce some sort of technology to the girls as well, so that they know what's possible. And my little one, she's going to get tired of me calling her my little one. So Gloria, she is going to be a software engineer. I think she wants to be an environmental engineer, builds robots that help the environment in some way. And so I try and introduce her to software and what's possible. And
speaking of robots, I think is it Dublin that is using like RoboCops? I thought I seen an article where like they're using these robots to like monitor areas that don't have a lot of like a parking garage. Like it
that's
would be in a parking
interesting.
garage
Yeah.
where it's constantly surveilling, but you can also approach it and like get direct communication with the police department.
Really?
It looked pretty cool.
I'm gonna have to look into that.
I think it's Dublin has a few of them
Yeah.
out there like operating right now. I may have just made that up.
That's fascinating. Is that an AI response? A hallucination?
I'm pretty sure I saw
That's
something
really
like
cool.
that somewhere. Yeah,
I've
it seemed pretty neat.
The Columbus Zoo, I heard, is using AI to, it's not robots, but they're analyzing video of their animal enclosures to determine are animals happy in their enclosures.
Yeah.
There are some really cool things that you could do with that.
So Avalon in New Albany used to be something else before it.
Yeah.
And I actually looked at it when my grandmother was in town. She moved up here from Palm Beach, but we looked at that, and they have some of their rooms. And again, I think it was before Avalon, so Avalon may not have this, but the technology was there, where through motion detectors they could monitor a resident's activity.
Yeah.
So like UTIs are a big issue with the elderly, so it could monitor motion, like trips to the bathroom or how many times they get up.
Yeah.
And then that would alert, like, okay, the nurses need to go check for this, which my wife's a nurse. I'm so far from understanding medicine, but like it's a precursor for other issues, and they could like catch it right away. And this is probably 10 years ago.
Right.
So I can only imagine like what some of that technology could be.
Right.
It's really cool.
At CES, they've got all the health tech stuff. You
Oh,
can
really?
imagine.
Okay.
In-home urine analysis. So like you could put some dip a stick in your
Yeah.
toilet, and it gives you
no.
a diagnosis.
That's cool.
So yeah, there are a lot of interesting technology.
Yeah.
That's cool that they were doing that sort of predictive analytics based on behavior, even just motion within a room.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Like that was a huge selling point. Like when we were looking, like fortunately she didn't end up needing to go, but
Yeah.
I was like, man, I want somewhere where it's going to have that kind of
Yeah.
monitor, because I mean, so much of that stuff goes undetected.
Right.
But man, that's cool. I feel like we could go on forever.
Yeah, I appreciate the conversation.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Thanks.
So yeah, I thank you for doing this.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Buckeye Innovation seems like a phenomenal place to work.
Thanks. Yeah,
So-
I mean, I look forward to having more conversations. Hopefully, if you're listening, you haven't been out to BrickHouse Blue, I would love to meet you here. Please,
Yeah.
listeners, please come out. It's a great space. Come to some Tiger Talks, some Tiger workshops. Hopefully, we'll have a workshop on AI code generation soon.
Yeah, I need to do a better job of kind of talking about those Tiger Talks, because like I'm not affiliated with BrickHouse Blue. I
Yeah,
use its
right.
podcast space. Love the people here. Love the space. But I think I could do a better job of like trying to get because I can get guests out here.
Yeah.
And every time I get a guest, I think it's a genuine like, holy, this place is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, this is really cool. And I see new faces on events. But the Tiger Talks are one in particular. Like I needed to stay up to date on like what's coming, so that if there is something interesting that somebody wants to see, they can come see it.
You can subscribe to the calendar on the Innovate New Albany
See?
website.
There you go.
And while you're here, have a conversation with me. Tell me what kind of problems you're trying to solve for the world, and how can we apply some technology, and we'll work on your spreadsheet intake system for the football roster.
Yeah. Well, hey, we got to do it again. I don't know. I think it kind of like maybe a technology update.
Sure. Yeah.
I can give you my conspiracy theories on technology
Yeah.
and AI.
yeah. I mean, we need to be aware of those things so that we can mitigate against them.
Yeah. Hey, thanks again. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much.